Yep. All right, so before we get into this video, let me clear something up. Yes, the title says I'm stopping my Amazon business, but this isn't a quitting story. It's actually the opposite. So if you're an Amazon seller, this might be one of the most important videos you watch this quarter. Because what I'm about to share could be the difference between you scaling your Amazon business or staying stuck exactly where you're at right now. So I'm making a big strategic move that most sellers never even think about. And it's something that could completely transform your Amazon business too. So let me explain what is really happening here and more importantly, how it actually applies to you. So I'm stopping my Amazon business, but not in the way that you think. I'm not shutting down my Amazon FBA business. I'm simply stopping new product acquisition, which means stopping new product sourcing, opening new trade accounts with new suppliers. And in this video, I'll explain exactly why it is I'm doing this. And from mid-November, where we're at right now from the time of filming this video, until the end of January, we will not be making any new inquiries, opening up any new trading accounts, or sourcing any new products. For the main and sole reason that I'm looking to restructure some parts of the business in Q1 in 2026, which is next year. I'm planning to strip the business back, adding in new systems, processes, softwares, automations that will ultimately allow me to scale beyond where I'm at right now. And you should watch till the end of this video as I'm going to be breaking down the exact reason why I came to actually make this decision and how it can actually benefit your Amazon business too. So for context, a few weeks ago, I sat down and I just spent a little bit of time looking at my Amazon business. And I started to think and really understand where are my biggest bottlenecks at the moment in my Amazon business. And this really boiled down to a few things. First of all is we don't really have enough space to ship more products as sales increase. The operations at the moment are a little bit too chaotic. I know we could probably be 20 to 30% more efficient purely just with better systems, both in the buying and the fulfillment side of the business. And we want to work with building better and more solid relationships with our existing suppliers and accounts we've already got. So yes, I am taking a step back from taking on any new product lines. But what that's going to allow me to do is actually scale much further than my current capabilities. The main reason I'm stepping back is simply because of focus. This is the lesson that I want you to take from this video. Focus is a superpower in business. And I know it sounds cliche, but honestly, most sellers and most business owners in general fail because they split their focus across 10 different things. They try spinning all of these plates all at once, and ultimately they never end up putting all of their focus into any one of them, and all of them just do averagely well. You should look at yourself and you should look at your business in terms of seasons, okay? There are going to be seasons in your business, and each season requires a different focus point. Okay, so for context, sometimes in your business, your only job and your main focus is going to be opening up new trade accounts and finding new products. Other times, you maybe need to put a pause on that and you need to focus purely on actually building the supplier relationships for the accounts you've already got. And sometimes, like exactly where I'm at right now, is your focus has to shift to the operations, tightening the systems, adding in new processes so you can scale effectively and cost effectively without causing a bunch of chaos. And the real trick here is just knowing what season you're in your business at any one time. Because if you don't know your season, you can't grow, or at least you can't grow efficiently and the most profitably. So this video isn't really about why I'm stopping my Amazon business. It's about figuring out where are the bottlenecks in your business right now. Because once you understand how to fix the bottleneck in your business scales naturally. And to identify these bottlenecks in my business, I use this throughput diagram, okay? And this throughput diagram basically analyzes my entire business. Now, I'm not going to sit here and take credit for this analogy. I actually learned this from one of my mentors who runs a multi-8-figure business. And this throughput diagram genuinely changed my perspective on scaling a business and actually how to view your business in general, and really just understanding all of the key areas and the key points within your business. So I'm just going to jump in now. I'm going to analyze through the throughput diagram, and show you exactly how I kind of came to this conclusion, how you can analyze and understand your bottlenecks that you're experiencing in your business right now. And this throughput diagram and this analogy really helps you get clarity on exactly where you're leaking right now in the business and exactly where your bottlenecks are right now. So I'm just going to jump into the live demo now and show you exactly what I mean. So this is the throughput diagram that I used to make the decision of stopping my new product acquisition for a few months. So first of all, I'm just going to run you through a baseline analogy of the pipeline. And then I'm actually going to show you how to use it in real time and actually help you understand where the cracks and bottlenecks are within your business. So as you can see, this is a basic pipeline system. Okay, so think of it like this. You've got a big barrel of water at the top here. Okay, and this is full to the brim of water. Okay, we're going to label this barrel of water as your product sourcing. Okay, and as soon as you turn the tap on, this is just all products from Amazon that you can source that will go through this pipe. Okay, so what I've done here is I've broken down every single chain and action of process that you go through in your business to be able to get to the end result, which is ultimately profit. Okay, so to run you through it, basically, the process and the chain of events starts with sourcing the product. Once you've sourced the product, you will then do the initial validation. You will find the supplier, log the supplier's details. You will contact the supplier. You may have to do a follow-up process. You may have to handle objections, submit the account form and the credit form, open the account and receive the pricing. You then do further validation checks on the products. You will then negotiate the pricing, potentially do what we call a value add, a repitch and a renegotiation. And you'll go through the negotiation stage. Once you've been through the negotiation stage, hopefully you have secured a profitable pricing. You place a test order, receive the goods, prep the units, schedule the shipment, transport the products to Amazon. The goods get delivered, confirm the units have been received in Amazon. The stock goes live. You sell the stock, sell the stock, sell the stock. Once you've sold the stock, you will reanalyze the data, potentially renegotiate the pricing, replenish the stock, sell more and more stock, and that's ultimately where you receive the profit. So this is basically a pipeline analogy of your business. So these are the steps of the process that you should be going through to take a product from looking at it on Amazon and making sure that it meets your validation criteria, all the way till the end of the process where you actually sell the stock and actually make the money. Okay, so the purpose of this throughput diagram is for you to understand all of the different stages you're at in your business at the moment and understand where the cracks in these pipes are. Okay, so what I mean by this in particular is you are going to have cracks or potentially holes in some of these pipes where maybe your process isn't good enough. Maybe you're not doing enough due diligence. Maybe you're just not good at some of these things. And understanding this diagram and really analyzing it is going to help you understand where your business is going wrong. So the way you want to do this is you want to start and go in chronological order of the processes. And you want to step by step try find the cracks, the bottlenecks, and the holes of where the most water is flowing, right? And actually leaving the tubes. Because a good example of this is you could source and you could find 1,000 products on Amazon, right? And you could turn this tap on to the maximum capacity, to as fast as it can go, right? But you're going to have a big crack somewhere around here straight away, because although you can source thousands of products that meet your validation criteria, do you have capacity to actually contact those suppliers? We all know how long it takes to contact suppliers, follow up with them, etc. So if you're sourcing 1,000 products, you're going to have a huge hole and a huge crack in your pipe here, because you're simply not going to be able to contact all of those suppliers, or you're definitely not going to be able to contact them efficiently and effectively. You then want to go step by step and go, right, okay, what is my process for product sourcing? Is it good enough? Okay, that's a tick box straight away. Yes, that's good enough. My initial validation, yep, that's absolutely fine. But then you realize, well, I actually do struggle with finding the correct and the best phone numbers for my suppliers. So it doesn't matter if I increase this to 500 products a week, I'm not going to be able to efficiently find the correct supplier details. So you've understood that as a crack and a bottleneck, because you could be putting 500 products a week through this, but if you've got a crack here where 200 of them you can't actually find a good contact number or a good contact detail, then you may as well just not turn the tap on in the first place, because all of these products are just going to be going out of the crack in this part of the pipe. But what you've got to do is you've got to go through step by step by step every single one of these processes and understand, where is my bottleneck at the moment. And just to give you some real world examples, most people's bottlenecks really come at the contacting supplier phase and the follow-up process. A lot of people don't have any follow-up process in at all, or if they do, it's not really that effective and it's not that efficient. So even if you source 1,000 products, you know how to validate them, you know how to find the supplier, you know how to contact them, but if you don't have a good structured follow-up process, hundreds or potentially thousands of products are just going to be slipping out of this tube here. Or it may be that you know how to do the follow-up process, you know how to contact the supplier, but you don't know how to handle objections. So it's about understanding where your bottleneck is and really being true to yourself of, okay, this is actually what I'm struggling with at the moment. This is the part of the business, and this needs to be my focus point to really dial in on handling objections. I need to spend the next week, 2 weeks, coming up with a process, learning and absorbing new things to be able to handle objections better, because I'm losing and I've got a huge crack in my business here. And it doesn't matter if I source more products up here, because they're all just going to flow out when it gets to this stage of the pipe. Another one a lot of people struggle with is negotiating pricing, okay? They can get the account open, they can handle the objections, but they just can't master the negotiations part of the process. They don't know how to value add, they don't know how to pitch properly, they don't know how to negotiate properly. So again, it doesn't matter whether you source 10,000 products here, they're all just going to fall out of this pipe when it gets to this point. And when they fall out of this pipe, it means you're not going to be able to place test orders, you're not going to be able to sell the stock, and you're not going to be able to make more profit. So contextually for me, what I've understood is my biggest bottleneck at the moment is actually around this area here. It's I am not able to prep as many units as I need, and I'm not able to do that as cost effectively and as systematically as I should be able to. So I have no problem sourcing products. I have no problem contacting suppliers and handling objections. I have no problem with negotiations, but I'm simply getting too many products and too many deals, and it's costing me too much money in the prepping the units, the receiving the goods, the scheduling the shipments part of the business, because I've overloaded too much volume into my current pipeline. So I'm currently in the process of taking a step back, really dialing in on this part of the process here, and basically making it much more efficient to basically fix those cracks and those bottlenecks. But for you, what you need to understand is, where is your biggest bottleneck right now, okay? My biggest bottleneck is here, but I know for a lot of people, it is mainly in the negotiations part and the contacting suppliers phase. So what you should do is you should download this document, print it off, go through every step of the process, and maybe even write down, right, at the moment, what do I do for product sourcing? Write down the process. For initial validation, what do I do? Is there any cracks and is there any bottlenecks in these current pipes? And as you go through this process, you will, first of all, start to understand your business more. But second of all, you'll start to understand where the leaks are, where the cracks are, and where you can improve. And ultimately, where your main focus point needs to be. Because if your main crack and your main bottleneck is in negotiating pricing, but you're putting 90% of your focus into contacting suppliers and product sourcing, that is actually being net negative to your business, and it's actually holding you back from scale. So the purpose of this diagram is for you to get clarity on your business and really understand the bottlenecks. So in the description of this video, you can go and you can download this for completely free. I would recommend printing it off and just writing down a ton of notes, getting clarity on your business, what it is you're doing at the moment, where your bottlenecks are, and ultimately where you can improve. So that is exactly why I'm stopping my Amazon business right now. Not to slow down, but ultimately to increase the scalability and scale faster. If you want access to the throughput diagram and the process that I use to actually analyze this diagram, you can go to the description of this video now and you can get it for completely free. What I usually do is I will print this off and I will just sit there for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and I will just go through every single position of the business and really understand, where am I leaking the most at the moment? Where are the most cracks in the business? And ultimately just understanding the bottlenecks visually on a piece of paper, then I can start to actually solve them. So if you want to get access to this document where you can just print it off, go to the description of this video and get it for completely free. Other than that, hope you've taken a lot of value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.